Hello there. A former paint factory in Coolock North Dublin has become the latest focus for unrest over the unprecedented levels of immigration into Ireland, with a number of arrests being made as local protesters once again faced off with members of the Garda Public Order Unit, with the BBC reporting that a large fire has broken out at a site which had been earmarked for asylum seekers in North Dublin. Pallets and construction machinery have been set alight at the former Crown Paints factory in Coolock. And the public's concerns about housing all these asylum seekers across the country are being ignored by their government. Although I, of course, cannot condone any criminal activity, can I? The citizens are required to suck up all that is meted out to them once they've voted, every few years, of course. Now, the Irish Justice Minister, Helen McEntee, said she was appalled at the criminal behaviour that took place in Coolock, and that those involved would face the full rigours of the law. "I have spoken to the Garda Commissioner," she said, "and he has assured me that everything will be done to bring those responsible to justice." And isn't it funny that there's always plenty of police around when they move camps into these areas? Makes you wonder what recourse to accountability the people do have when they are extremely worried about developments in their local communities, doesn't it? Neither local nor national politicians are listening to their citizenry, although the people do vote these jokers in every time, don't they? And it's got to the stage that an Irish Times video on X is showing a tented village for 540 people with filthy facilities, where there is meant to be 30-minute cleaning rotas, presumably done by the occupants themselves, because no one else seems to be responsible. Either way, the cleaning is not happening. Maybe a volunteer group like, I don't know, Care for Calais could turn up with the mops. They do seem rather keen to support the newcomers, don't they? And someone on X pointed out that the government has thrown billions at asylum seeker accommodation, and this is all they've got to show for it, with the big question being, where have all the billions gone? Just like in the UK, probably, in the unaccountable pockets of private contractors. In the West, we appear to have industrialised people smuggling, with, as ever, a few milking the vast profits. How much longer will the Irish tolerate this? And today, the UK Office for National Statistics reports that the population in England and Wales grew by the largest amount since records began in 1949. According to the ONS, the population of England and Wales rose by 610,000 from mid-2022 to mid-2023 to just under 61 million people, and that's England and Wales only, if you believe that number. And the ONS explains that this is down to mass inward migration because we have negligible domestic population growth as we have too few children, and more elderly people are dying as the population ages. The number of births fell by 21,900 and the number of deaths rose by 24,000. Now, this is a graph of the annual population increase in England and Wales every year for the 50 years since 1973 to 2023. And you'll notice the trend is ever upwards until these latest record figures. But the UK fertility rate has been below the replacement rate of 2.11 since that year of 1973. So, you would therefore no doubt be astounded to hear that back in October 2007, a reporter named Martin Baker wrote in The Independent, "So don't forget you read it here first. The population of the United Kingdom is presently somewhere between 77 and 80 million. Yes, you heard that right. In 2007, according to Baker, the UK population could have been as high as 80 million people. But no one took a blind bit of notice back then because the official statistics put it at about 59 million at the time. And the ONS currently projects it won't get to even 74 million until mid-2036. And everyone trusted official numbers, didn't they? But would they trust them today? So if our birth rate is below replacement, then where did all those extra people that Baker is talking about come from? Now, Baker's report was based on a supermarket's evaluation of staple food consumption. But which supermarket chain this came from remains undisclosed, although some claim it was Tesco. And whichever supermarket it was, it wanted a lot more shops to sell its wares from. And I believe it was denied permission for more stores in case it gave the population game away, although I might well be wrong on that. Baker, now passed away I believe, also said that an undisclosed non-commercial agricultural institution also put the population figure at 77 million. And the question is, can it be possible that the truth of the size of our population is being withheld from us? And Baker hailed it as great news, saying that this was the driving force behind our economy, and also that if the true numbers were revealed, the Little Englanders and xenophobes would come out in force about the evils of immigration. He even said that this was a good thing, because it suppressed wages, so keeping inflation low. And when I say anti-inflationary, he wrote, I mean they are getting rotten wages, dignified by the term cheap labour. The hidden hordes will do well for the services sector, amongst others. Sounds like he was happy with the exploitation of the hidden hordes to me. Now those that sell us our food know their business, so I do wonder what the supermarkets would tell us today if the government asked them, and then allowed them to actually tell us. Over 100 million people, perhaps? And it might go a long way to explaining such phenomena as our constantly overflowing sewage system. Anyway, the underlying story appears to be that maintaining stable population numbers is not what Western governments are about. No, for some reason it's open borders all the way. Fewer babies and more newcomers. And they are all following the same identical agenda across the Western world, so don't try and tell me this huge immigration population surge is not pre-planned and coordinated. And look at how much it's costing us. So what do you think about all this? Take a quick look in the comments. So it comes from is that Gillian Sharp? I doubt whether the Irish will put up with this enforced invitation of their, or is that invasion of their beloved Emerald Isles. They are a Christian country and they ain't going to have that interfered with. Well, I would sort of agree with that. It seems to be being forced on them. I think it's this search for a secular future for us, where we don't have any beliefs at all, and we have other people's beliefs put on us, and we just go along with whatever we're told to do, and that's the general assumption I make. It's just an ungodly future for us, and it's not something we should take lightly. Oh, I've had a super thanks from someone called Yardy for £10, I think. Just been told. Thank you very much indeed. Now, from Colin Burrell, Jeff, our population based on water usage, electricity, gas, petrol and diesel, food purchase, doctor surgeries and A&E attendance way above 85 million. I wouldn't disagree. I think that everything is so stretched. When governments don't talk truthfully about population numbers, whether they go up or down, when they're not absolutely accurate with them, that means that local authorities can't plan. They can't build things because they're not given the money, or they can't collect the money to build things. Local house builders, they don't know how many houses to build if they're not told the truth. Planning authorities can only go with the statistics they're given, and this whole thing is just a political mess. The government needs to come out and be absolutely blunt with us and tell us the truth. I'm sorry, but they're not telling us the truth, I don't think, and it's about time they did. You will own nothing and be happy and be Muslim. Well, I'm not sure about the last bit. All they want us to do is own nothing and be unhappy, I think. The religion part of it, I think what they're hoping over the years to come is that gradually everyone will become modern and westernised and put their religion into a box and never remember it. That's what I think they're hoping. That people will not be religious in 100 years' time. All of that will have gone. We'll all be secular. We'll all just believe the science as we are told by them, with no religious connection at all, no connection to our past, and making us very pliable and compliant. Jeff, did you win your MP seat? No. To be honest, no. Okay. Here we have baked beans on toast every day. Well, that's a way of getting round it, isn't it? Baked beans on toast every single day. The trouble is that would add to the methane output. And I think we'd probably all have to be stop eating beans just in case we brought on all this climate change that they're worried about. Because if the cows aren't doing it, then we would be doing it, eating beans. Can anyone tell me why the EU is supplying the dinghies and life jackets? I'm not sure who's supplying them, but I would think that there would be a supplier and that they could be tracked down and could be stopped, because some of these things aren't very good. In fact, the quality of these dinghies, as far as I understand it, are getting worse. And they're not getting so many life jackets, but they're still piling people into the boats. Yeah, maybe a certain Tory baroness is making them. You never know. Right, what else is here? Oh, Rory Herbert. Hey, Rory. I know Rory Herbert. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. I might give you a call later now. Yes, this was the Garda are pepper spraying them now. This was a warning. Before I put this video or this live stream together, there was a warning that the Garda heavy boys were turning up and that it could turn a bit juicy later on. And it seems like maybe in Ireland it has got that far. Oh, look at this. Long John Silver, I'm having mashed potato and steak pie for dinner tonight. Well, lucky you. I'm gonna have a glass of wine later, I think, and I'll see what's in the freezer or in the fridge, and might have something. There's some. Ooh, got a lot of comments here. Send all the British immigrants to Ireland. Now, is that the British people who want to leave or the people who come into Britain from outside? The thing about that is if you're talking about the people that came into Britain from France, and then suddenly when the Rwanda plan came up, there was a few of them decided to go to Ireland because they were worried about being sent to Rwanda. Now that we've got rid of the Rwanda plan, I should think that's probably in reverse. But no one's going to tell us that. They'll just expect us to forget that. So I might put a note in the diary to see if I can check up on that tomorrow and see if there has been a reversal. Because the Irish News would be very proud if they were able to reverse that, except for the fact it makes them look bad because they're not as welcoming as we are, and there seems to be a competition between the Republic of Ireland and the new Labour government as to who is the most welcoming in Europe. Let's go back down. Ooh. Here's one from Jean-Marc Bordeaux. We move them on in France. We are 85% Catholic. Yeah, I know you move them on. But where to? Right. Oh. Anyway, yeah, this is a good comment. This is what we should be told, the whole truth and nothing but the truth by the government, especially this new government. And what did they tell us? They were going to be open, transparent, tell us everything, warts and all. And I wonder if they are going to do that. It might backfire on them. They can turn around and say, well, the Tories did it. But they had access into all the figures in Westminster. They'll have known. They'll be talking to supermarkets and all the rest and get inside information. Labour knows what's going on. I don't think they'll do any different to the Tories. They'll just lie and continue in the same old vein. Oh. Let's see if I can find that one. Someone's just told me that Anglo-Saxon, I found one of the posts, has given us a super thanks, which is much appreciated, and also asked me about the can't find it at the moment amongst all these thoughts on Ben Habib and the Nigel Farage fallout. I actually haven't read the detail on that. I've only just been told that there has been a bit of a spat. I'll have to check up on that one because that sounds like quite a big story to me. Ben Habib, I think, was one of the sort of intellectual engine room people of Reform UK. And I've met him, interviewed him. You may have seen me chatting to him. It was a couple of years ago on a video. But he knows his stuff. He knows what he's on about. So it would be a pity for Reform if they did have a fallout. Because as I've said before, I don't know where Ben Habib would go. So yeah, interesting. Oh, yeah. The fallout at the moment between them does seem quite civilised at the moment. Let's keep it that way. Oh, another super thanks from ENS. Thank you very, very much. It's very much appreciated. Oh, it seems that the comment is that 11,000 newcomers have been invited over since Labour came. No, since when? Since the election. Cool, that's only a month or two ago, isn't it? Yes. So yeah, we'll see. Anyway, it's been this. I didn't want to make this this one too long. So I'm just looking to see. Yes. An English assembly for the English people in a united Christian kingdom. Yeah, an English assembly for the English people. That's the big sticking point. If we had the equivalent of an English assembly, like a Scottish assembly, you know, all the rest of it, it would be a massive, massive assembly. And it would be... It would make the other assemblies almost, pointless. because they would have no sway over Westminster. By doing it the way they've done it, they've made sure that the Welsh, Northern Ireland and Scottish assemblies do have extra clout to take our money, or the English money, and all the rest of it, and giving the English their own parliament effectively would cause a lot of horse trading. And because the most votes would be the English votes at about, well, I don't know, 45 million votes or whatever it is, would just outnumber all the rest. And that's the problem with an English parliament. And it would lead to the breakup of the United Kingdom. Yes, it's the English Parliament also has another drawback in that with all the differing demographics, it would probably pull itself apart very quickly. So, yes. That's why we actually need a Christian revival in this country. We really do. So that people, we have our values which are built on Christianity over a couple of thousand years. So why we can't stick to that, I don't know. Why they have to rip it from us. Anyway. So someone says, Jeff looks at my comment, says, maybe later a bit too heavy. Well, maybe I'm just sort of flicking through. I've got a very small screen in front of me, and it's very difficult when the comments are speeding through and you're trying to slow it down. Yeah. So, yeah. Anyway, what I'd like to say is thanks to everybody for watching. I've got to go and get some drink for my dry throat at the moment. So I'll see you all at another time, and thank you so much for watching and participating. Greatly appreciated. So I'll have a look through the comments later. Thanks very much for watching. See you later.